Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Harbor Community Meeting with the time-friendly time zone for the Americas. It's the 17th of June, and as always, this is a recorded meeting, so please adhere to the CNCF Code of Conduct. First order of business is, a huge congratulations to the team. Harbor has graduated in CNCF, so this is a huge achievement. It's a testament to the effort, the community, the work that the Harbor team has put in, the community contributions, our partnerships, and everything else that basically went in to create this project. So huge kudos to the team. We're not satisfied. We're going to keep going. Excuse me. We're going to keep going. We have a huge vision and roadmap ahead of us. So I'm going to be working on basically delivering on that. Speaking of roadmap, we are actually updating the roadmap documents for most of our projects, and I believe Harbor's roadmap should be updated today. If it's not, it should get in there tomorrow. Let me go in there right now to check. Nope, it's not updated yet, but it should be updated in the next couple of days. So a couple of announcements on releases. Version 2.0.1 release candidate is out. That includes some fixes around the Trivi scanner, some replication fixes, retention, some UI stuff. Like we had a major release for Harbor, and as expected with any major release, there's some fit and finish things that kind of fell through the cracks. So the team kind of worked very quickly to address those and make sure that the community gets a stable release of Harbor that they can plan on. There's a total of 46 issues overall. A lot of them are just UI fit and finish. We also did a couple of security fixes. For example, you could test webhooks today. So if you go to a webhook and you create one, there's a test button, but the test button allows you to input any arbitrary URI in there or IP address, and someone could actually use that for port scanning. So we actually addressed that by removing that altogether. So now you cannot test webhooks. But we may enable that later on based on policy if users want to. There's also a couple of other security kind of let's call it security hardening issues that we fixed, and everyone will be able to see them once the release fully comes out. But overall, good progress. We're hoping to ship that very, very soon. We also shipped 1.10.3 last week, so that addressed quite a few issues. And then Helm 1.4.1 will be out next week. These are the releases that are in play right now: 1.10.3, 1.4.1 for Helm, and 2.0.1 for the RC. In addition, the team has been making great progress on 2.1. If you all remember, 2.1 is a major release of Harbor. It's slated to be late August, and it's going to have capabilities like proxy cache, non-blocking garbage collection. So you can actually, this is something that I know Chris and your team, you probably have been waiting for that as your sizes of Harbor installations are coming bigger and bigger. The ability to run garbage collection and reclaim some of the disk without really blocking Harbor operations is going to be huge. And then the last part is P2P integration. So those are the four big features of 2.1, and we're making great progress on that. On the proxy cache, there's actually a spec. So if you're interested in that, let me share my screen really quickly right now. This is the URI for the spec. It's PR 144. Essentially, the way it's going to work is, I can't really show you through the spec here, but I'm going to show you by going to demo.goharbor.io. Now, be aware that this environment of Harbor does not have proxy caching in, but I'm just going to walk you through how that looks like. The first thing you do is you add the registry. So in order for proxy caching to work, you're going to add a target registry that Harbor will be used to communicate with. In this case, it could be Docker Hub or Quay or AWS, Google, GCP, Google or Azure registry, whatever you want. So in this case, you specify the registry. In this case, it could be Docker Hub. You enter some credentials. And these credentials are basically going to provide to Harbor access to your account in that target registry. Once you do that, essentially you can now create a new project. But as you come in here and you're saying, I would like a new project, and you enter the details here like project name and access level and storage quota, you're going to see a new button here that says, do you want this project to be a proxy cache? And if you do, you get to select the registry that you just added as a target. And then immediately you can proxy anything you had access in that account. So let me give you an example here. So in this case, if I go to Docker Hub, and if I were to provide my credentials for Docker Hub, you see here I have a few, my own account is Mitch Mike. Think of this account as the equivalent of a project in Harbor. This is a logical entity. And under that, I have lots of repositories, and each of them has tags and versions, right? Like, this block engine has lots of tags, for example. But I also have access, okay, back button doesn't work in Docker Hub, but I also have access to Project Contour. And Project Contour has only one repo, and that repo has many, many tags. So if I added the registry that basically associated Harbor with my Docker Hub account, I could actually proxy cache any of these projects. I could proxy cache Project Contour, Mitch Mike, IELab, and the way that it will look like is if you when you're looking at it in Harbor, basically you're gonna call it this way. It's gonna be demo.goharbor.io. That's your URI for Harbor. Then the next part will be your project name. That's the name you entered here in Harbor, right? Like, let's call this project food. So here it will be food, and then now food has already been associated with my Docker Hub account. So then after that, I could actually enter whatever details of the accounts that I have in Docker Hub. So I could enter Project Contour and then put Contour and basically do version 1.3, for example, version 1.2, and I'll be able to proxy cache this. Or I can remove this and put Mitch Mike and then be able to Blog Engine and be able to proxy cache Blog Engine. So this is the beauty of proxy cache. You get to associate one project with an account you have, and anything that account has access to can be proxy cached through Harbor. Very similar to how replication works as well. Any questions on that? Alex, I got it right? I didn't mess up.
Yep, that's the process. And so I just want to point out that it's only going to be the sysadmin that can do this, because like previously or currently any project admin can create projects, right? But the project admin here, or the person here doing the creation of the proxy project, by assumption has access to all those endpoints. So he has to be a system admin, not just any user. So when he hits that, we're still working on it, but I presume when he selects, for this project to function as a proxy cache, then his access permissions will kick in. And so he only gets to enter or select from the list of target registries if he is a system admin.
Yep. And obviously, we may not get 100% right this feature the first go. I mean, this is the first time we're trying this out. There's not that many registries out there that do proxy caching or mirroring. So we'll be iterating and getting customer feedback and trying things out. So as folks, this is going to be super useful for folks that want to be in semi-air gapped environments, or they want like a local mirror of their registries. So we're going to get a lot of feedback from those companies and users and see what it looks like. Like Alex, I guess one of the key things that we should try is, what if the target registry is another Harbor instance and you are entered system administrator credentials for Harbor? They should be able to proxy cache anything from Harbor in that case, right? We should try that. We should try that out.
Yeah, we'll try it.
Because that would be huge, right? You get one access credential and then everything from Harbor can be piped through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it for today. That's all the items we had. Any questions, concerns, ideas, thoughts?
I had one question about the Helm chart versus the operator. Did we ever get a resolution on which one of those is going to be the primarily supported one?
We are actually in a bit of a pickle because we have to support all of them now. We support the Helm chart, and that's why we're releasing a new version. So we have like 5 different deployment methods. We have the Helm chart, we have the operator that we're trying to drive towards a version 1.0, and we're making great progress there. We have the Docker Compose, which we support and is heavily used by a lot of people that don't use Kubernetes. We have the Tile that's heavily involved and heavily deployed in enterprise PKS or tons of Kubernetes grid environments that VMware ships, and then we maintain that. And then we also creating, there's an effort to produce more simple YAML files that enable the deployment and packaging of Harbor using YTT and KAB, and we're also working on delivering those as well. I think over time, I want to see a convergence. I want the Helm charts, YTT and KAB all to use the operator, so we maintain the operator and everything else depends off it. And then over time, kind of defunct the tile, right? Just get it to a point where the tile is no longer a needed or a maintained component. So the operator will be the main thing that we have, the cluster operator and the core operator, and then everything else will just basically come on top of that and layer on top of that. Now, will it take us 3 months to get there or 6 months? I don't know. We have a lot of work to do. We haven't gotten the operators in version 1.0, but that's a long-term vision. Until we get there, we have to support them all.
Sounds good. Thanks for the answer.
Cool. All right, there's nothing else. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Thank you all for attending. We had low attendance today. Maybe we graduated and everybody stopped caring about Harbor. By the way, on the graduation, the announcements are going to go out next Tuesday from CNCF. You're going to see tweets, a press release, everything. So you'll be able to retweet it. And, again, many thanks to the community and the users, contributors of Harbor. You are the ones that got us here. Cool. Thank you all. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.